Hi there, La Jolla UMC family. You may remember that I'm someone I'm kind of a Methodist nerd, I suppose. I really like the way we're structured, and I have worked to give myself an understanding of, what levels of the international church do what things and what's more local and what's the difference between general conference and jurisdictional conference and annual conference and districts and local churches and all of those things. One of the things that you may recall back in 2019 is there was a special called session of the General Conference. Now, that doesn't only happen at the general level, the largest or most broad regional level. It can happen at any level. A local church could have a special called church conference. This weekend, our annual conference is having a special called session. And the same three laypersons who served at the in-person conference this past June are going to be online using the Zoom platform for this special called conference. It's this Saturday. It's only a few hours from about 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. Like I said, it's going to be done completely on Zoom. It's going to be online. There's a report available that has the very few items of legislation that are going to be addressed. And I wanted to share with you, what is this special called conference, annual conference about? And it's really a twofold purpose. One is the annual conference budget. The annual conference wanted a little extra time to hear more voices from people around the annual conference about what should be in the annual conference budget. And so leaders took that time and then put together a budget, and it's presented in a special preliminary report. But there are some items related to the budget, things like equitable compensation, which is sort of the minimum salary standards for pastors, particularly those whose local churches need a little help covering those salaries, but also staff salaries, quotas and special askings. So all of those things are in that sort of bucket or category of budget-related items. And so that's going to be part of what's going to be voted on, explored, debated during this special called annual conference session. The other thing, and this is really important for you all to know, is this is the time when we're going to be dealing with those congregations who wish to disaffiliate from the United Methodist Church. Part of an additional reason, I should say, for having this special called session is to give those congregations a little bit of extra time to navigate the processes, the things set in place by the Book of Discipline and the Annual Conference Board of Trustees, so that they can navigate all those things. Some folks might think of it as red tape, but let's get the legal stuff done and done appropriately so that these can come before the annual conference. You should know that there are only 3 churches in our annual conference who are requesting disaffiliation. Now, I want to be careful with the way I say that. There are only 3 churches who have navigated the process and worked with the conference board of trustees and followed all the requirements to get to that point of disaffiliation. 2 of those congregations will be paying the required 50% for their property and taking their property with them. One of those congregations doesn't want to do that. They're not going to be taking their property with them. So there are 3. Now, I also, in the spirit of transparency, want to share with you that there's one more congregation who is interested in disaffiliation. They're in the middle of a lawsuit. That church just lost a court case, and they're in the process of appealing for that. And so all that's up in the air. We'll see how that goes. I'm not sure. I'm not going to try to predict that. But all of those things, those 3 disaffiliations, because the lawsuit's a separate thing, those 3 disaffiliations, and then all those budget-related matters are going to be addressed in a special called session of the annual conference this Saturday from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And lay members who participated in the June regular session of the annual conference from around our region are going to be participating in this online session. Of course, clergy as well. I'll be traveling to Pasadena to work alongside the bishop to help lead all that there is to be done. Now, you may be saying, well, can I learn more about this? Can I know more about, those churches or the budget or any of those things? And yes, you can. If you go to the annual conference website and this specific address that I'll put on the screen for you, calpacumc.org/ SCS 2023. You'll find on there a link to a special preliminary report that has everything that we'll be addressing during the annual conference session. It's all right here in one convenient packet. You can download it to your screen, print it out, or whatever. But on that same page, if you feel like you want to watch the live stream of the special called session, you can do it right on that page. This is one of the ways that we live out our connectional system as United Methodists. If you have questions about the special called session, particularly after, what took place, what happened, please let me know. Please contact any of our lay members to the annual conference. I'm sure they'd come at it from a different perspective that I do, but could offer a great bit of information as well. I hope this is helpful to know these ways that we're connected with our annual conference and our larger church body, and how our voice is lifted up and heard as La Jolla UMC. Grace and peace to you, my friends.